Hello and welcome to a level 100 Shaman guide for Everquest here. So I play my Shaman as a box. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to say is kind of related to how I box the character. But a lot of it can be taken and used in a non-boxed as just you're playing it situation. You would just not automate the things I do. Like, I put a lot of stuff inside these social macros to make it easier for me to be able to, the way I play. So keep that in mind. But let's go ahead and we'll do gear first. I've been doing that first. So my Shaman's currently still wearing Reign of Fear. Level, what is this? 92, 95 gear. So it's the tier 1 Reign of Fear. I got a little bit of Castaway, tier 1 Darkened Sea, but I haven't focused on it. And I just switched to a Sledge of Sagasi as her primary weapon, just because that's kind of what I got a hold of. This is the best one I could buy from the Marks of Valor vendor. I didn't see a one-hander. But what this one does, it procs a 400-point heal when I melee. And the way I play is I melee, so you instantly procced right there, right? So I can just sit here, procced again. It's just gonna do a 400-point heal every time it procs. It's gonna do, I mean, look, I'm hitting for 2,500 on a Shaman, right? And that's pretty good, I think. And I don't think her two-hand blunt is very high. So I don't think I've used it at all. Yeah, her two-hand blunt is 5 skill. So kind of keep that in mind. Like the way I play is I auto-follow my monk, and I kind of manipulate them in such a way as I turn around the mob that the bard and the Shaman will melee. So this is kind of the play style I play. But for the most part, the gear is not really good for level 100. This is like more like level 95 gear. We didn't do tier 2, 3, or 4 of Reign of Fear, so that's kind of where I stopped, and then we moved into the Darkened Sea, and we're still getting the tier 1 gear for that. So let's jump into spells. My first spell here is Reckless Restoration. So this heals my target for 12,759, but it damages me in the process, right? So if we go over here, target Tawani actually, and I click heal, it says it damages me, but it didn't really do much to me at all. There might be like a debuff that it puts on me. I don't see it, but if I do it again, I'm not seeing it, but there should be a debuff that I take to heal. But I have so much healing over time from all this other stuff, right? Abundant healing. I think I had Shade, or what is it? Wisp of Renewal. So this is going to heal me for 6,400 every tick. This is my third spell, actually, so I'm kind of jumping ahead. And then I kind of cast that all the time. So I keep pretty much a high uptime on that spell to kind of counteract everything else. My second spell here is Blizon's Mending, which is a little bit smaller of a heal. It's for 1,000 or 9,991. Now the trick is, I'll kind of show this macro here, so this makes a little bit more sense. So I have a heal target macro for X target 1, which is Tawani, so it casts 5, 1, 2, and 3. So let's kind of look at that, right? So if I target Tawani, and I have her target the test dummy, and I cast 5, right? Just manually do it. It targets the, it casts that nuke on Tawani, but it lands on her target, right? And the cool thing about this, right, is it hits your target with a Searing Frost, does some amount of damage, but it gives me twin cast healing. So I immediately There's healing twin cast right there. It's 19 seconds left on it. I immediately go into reckless right after that, and then blizz, so those get doubled, right? So 24k and then 20k. All right, so that's kind of why I have them set up like that. And then I go into Whisper Renewal just to keep that on. That gives everybody healing constantly. And what else do I do on that one? Yeah, that's all I do. All right, so number 4. Oh, so we did number 5, right? Or number 3. This is the renewal. This is just group heal for 6,400 every 6 seconds for 24 seconds. Really good. It's like Torpor, but group version, the group version of Torpor. So Antecessor intervention here. So this one will heal whoever's lowest in the group the most, right? So if like Tawani's almost dead, I hit this, it's gonna group heal everybody for a certain amount, but whoever's the lowest is gonna get the most, and it's almost an instant cast. And I don't even know where I have that one macroed right now. I might have taken it out of my rotation, but it's really good for saving lives. And I don't primary heal on my boxed Shaman. I have 2 mercenary healers in the group, which, I mean, I think at some point I should probably stop relying on the mercenaries and pull in the mercenary DPS just to get a little bit more faster kill time, but I'm lazy, and having these mercenaries do most of the heavy lifting is better for me. And then, so Frigid Gift is my number 5, right? Which it just does that nuke on the target and then gives me healing twin cast. So to make, you know, take a benefit of that, I have to kind of do it in that order. And then I have Phase Spider Blood, which is a dot, does 5,900 damage every 6 seconds for 42 seconds. And if we click on him, cast it right, spell damage. So you can kind of see that we got the Bard gave us a benefit, right? We got 5,000 from the Bard. We're doing a twin cast proc on the dot we did, so it did 41,000, and then we're getting critical twin casts on the dot, also doing 171,000. So I mean, it does a lot of damage, and Frigid Gift did 16,000. So I don't even know what I did to get it to get the twin casts for that, but it might have been one of the I was doing burns in the last video, so I might have got some of those in there. But it does a lot of damage. It does more than 5,900 with all the AAs. And then I have this one, in Elam's Curse, which does another 6,000 every 6 seconds for 54 seconds. So it kind of just adds up, right? And I'm primarily dot with the Shaman just to kind of get all that going. Then I have a Breath of Nagato, which does 4,000. Just throw that on there, and then throw Face Spider on there. If we go back to spell damage, right, you can just see it's just constant damage going through. And that's free damage pretty much. Like, I just cast it. I used like 20% of my mana. That's it. So, Rampant Growth. This is what I cast this on Tawani. It gives her an extra 10,000 hit points. I have it in this Sloth macro here. It just gives extra hit points to her, and it kind of makes it easier to tank. I mostly use that on like bosses and stuff where it might be a chance that she's gonna take a huge hit. See here, Fatigue. So this is a proc slow that I put on Tawani mostly. Sometimes I put it on the pet just because he's gonna proc, but I think they have to be hit for it, so I can't remember how that one works, but it's 240 charges, and it heals the target too, so it's not that bad. It's just I like it on Tawani all the time because I don't slow typically unless it's named. Talisman of the Snow Leopard. This is our group proc damage. It does like, I think 10,000. give or take, but it's a nice thing. I keep that on pretty much cooldown. Alright, that's all the spells, and this last one is just like my buff slot. I switch that out with whatever buff I want to cast. The Talisman of the Courageous, whatever. That's like all the Shaman buffs in one. Or Regen, or I think Spirit of the Talic, or Talatak. I can always say Talic, but I think it's Talatak there. So like that. And I just, that's a movement speed buff that I keep on them at all times. So my first bar is number 1 Group Cheetah, and this kind of goes across, right? So on the Bard, it's Solo Sonata. So both of those buffs stack, right? Cheetah's like 1 minute, and Solo's is 5 minutes. Like the buffs stack, but the effects don't stack, if that makes sense. So you don't get like double the run speed. But if I'm not like around if I'm separated from one of these characters, I don't lose the effect of getting faster run speed. So on mine 2, which corresponds to Tawani's spam button, it's pretty much target X, target 4. All my characters have the same X target setup. So X target 1 is Tawani, 2 is Nilv, 3 is Ketka, 4 is Tawani's target, and then the rest are whatever else we're fighting or not currently fighting. And then 20 is Tawani, who is set as the tank of the group. And that just changes to whoever's tanking. So I target X target 4, which is Tawani's target. I do a pet attack, a pet swarm attack on for my melee, and then a merc assist, just in case my merc is not auto assist at that point in time. And that just gets me meleeing on the Shaman, gets my pet attacking, and if I have Spirit Call Out, which is the pack of 5 wolves, that's the swarm pet, it gets them attacking whatever I'm attacking too. So short-term buffs, so this casts 11, which is Talisman of the Snow Leopard, and then casts 3, which is Wisp of Renewal. So just kind of like every chance I get, I can recast that to keep that going. See her group buffs, I cast 5, and then I cast 1, so this is kind of like let's get a heal on Tawani, and then cast heal again, the group heal. So I'm kind of just passively keeping her healed no matter what, just to keep that going. We'll do the burns last, because those are a little bit more involved. So I have a assist dot button. This is my main kind of attack that I have going on. So I cast 6, 7, and 8. So Face Blotter Blood, Curse, Breath, and then I turn my melee attack on. So if we kind of just click it right now. So she does Spider Blood, and then Curse, and then she should do... Oh, she does a bunch of dogs, and then Disease. Oh, I didn't even see that in the macro. Yeah, I didn't see that. I don't know where the dogs came from. It might be one of these other things. That's just funny. There's some kind of effect going on there. Let's turn off attack. All right. But that's my main attack that I have going on. Then I have a slow button. So this is just X target 4. Same, the main target we're fighting. I only do AoE slow. Single target slow is just tedious for the way I play. And I only really slow named. Or if I get more than like 3 mobs, I might slow. Just depends. But I used to have Mallow in here. I think that was Wind of the Mallow. But it was just making the macro take too long. Mobs were like half dead before I could slow. So I just took that out. It's not a very fast cast. Let's see here. It doesn't even say what the cast time is. And I don't know if that's the... No, I have single target Mallow as the one. But this is the AoE Mallow. I should probably swap it out. How fast is that cast? That one's instant, so maybe it got changed. So let's go ahead and update that real quick. Let's take out the pause here. Let's put it to let's do a 1.5 second pause, and we'll do a 9:52. There we go. Try that. We'll try that when it comes back up and see how that looks. And then on numpad 8, I have ancestral intervention. So just in case, I honestly forgot that was there, but just a group heal, fast group heal that gets everybody, just in case something goes wrong. Then on -9, I have inconspicuous totem, which is kind of like a feigned death. It just turns me into a totem for a minute and fades my aggro, so it kind of gets me out of trouble. And I usually hit that if Tawani does a bad pull or something like that. And then equal sign, I summon my mount. Big old bug here, looks really cool. All right, I have sit there for some reason. I'm getting rid of that. I need to get rid of this sit too. It's annoying, but I'll leave it there for now. Tranquil Blessings and mass group buff. Those just, it's for grouping, like buffing a lot of people. I usually throw all the buffs whenever I go to guild lobby to wait for buffs myself. I usually throw my buffs out just to help out the cause, if you will. My follow macro is pretty standard here for all my characters. I stand up, I X target 1, which is Tawani, I /follow, and then I do cheetah, and then I also invite Tawani for when I group. So when I start the group, when I first log on, I click a button on Tawani, which invites Ketka and Nilv, and then when I follow from Tawani with these other two, the same macro, it hits that same thing, and they invite her, which means they accept the invite that Tawani already sent them, and the group is formed. It's pretty cool. And just a dumb macro here for training conjuration. I used to just have that somewhere up there. I don't even need that anymore, because her conjuration was so low because of how I power leveled them from 1 to I think it was like 85 or 90. All right. Let's see here. Primary anchor. These are all my transportation. This is my transportation row. So these port me back here to my guild hall for both these anchors. And then the campfire. The Stein takes you to Plane of Knowledge. And Throne of Heroes takes you to guild lobby. And Origin takes me to Crescent Reach, I believe. Wherever this character was created. And then I have the same macro here 3 times. This is heal targets X target 1 and cast 5, 1, 2, and 3. So it's the exact same thing. So if I do shift numpad 1 and nuked that guy, sends my pets, I get another bunch of pets, and then reckless heals Tawani, mins Tawani, and now it'll do the group AoE heal, and everybody's like, it does a lot of healing, gets that going just in case, you know, the mercenaries can't keep up, which does happen, and that's why I run to. I don't think I could solo heal Tawani. Maybe I could probably solo heal a Shadow Knight or a warrior or a paladin, but solo healing a monk is difficult. And then I have another one for X target 20, which is the exact same as the other one, but this is the case where I'm not using Tawani as a tank, and I have a mercenary tank or something like that, and I need to heal on that mercenary tank. It doesn't really come into play as much as it used to, but I still have it set up. I haven't removed any of that. And then I have my sloth macro, which is just fatigue plus rapid growth, which is just the HP buff that I cast on Tawani. And then summon banker, bind, which binds me wherever. I don't really use these as much since I keep my bind in guild lobby. Gate, which takes me back to guild lobby. I have a group up macro, which just invites Tawani. And then all the other special macros, or not macros, but buttons for the special stuff. Jester, agents, expedient recovery, lesson of the devout, all that kind of stuff. And then, let's see here. I got Spirit Call, which is... Actually, this probably makes more sense if I go to the burns first. So I do Silent Casting as the first burn, right? And then Call of the Ancients, which is this one right here. So summons a stationary ward, starts healing, heals for 3,800 every 6 seconds for 300 seconds. It's a really big heal. Then Fleeting Spirit. I don't think I have that one on here. I think it's Archetype. Where is it? Fleeting Spirit. Really? Is it called Fleeting Spirit? There it is, right there. Jeez. Another one. Allows you to twin cast 9 damage spells over time. So this kind of gives me more damage on my dots and whatnot. It also allows 9 healing spells to get twin cast, heal over time spells. So I don't really use that as much because I don't use the single target heal over time. Whatever the torpor is, I just use the group one. I never ran into a situation where I need it. Then I do Soothsayer's Intervention, which just uses the highest rank of our intervention spell. So it's just throwing more healies out there, right? So usually when I start burning, usually things have gone bad, and sometimes I don't even burn on names unless I know it's going to go bad. And this just starts getting that flow of extra healing and extra damage just going, and it just really synergizes really well. And then Ancestral Aid, which everybody in the group, 200-foot radius in the group, gets another 1,000 HP per second, increasing all their stats too. So just massive buffs, massive heals is kind of where that goes. And then in this burn, I target Tuwani, and then I do Ancestral Guardian, which, this one right here, increases a shield on a melee shield for 63,000 armor class, just buffs up Tuwani. And then I do Union to Spirits, which heals my target, so that's why I have a target here, for 27,000, and then 19,000 every 6 seconds, and also increases their stats. So you can kind of see where this is going here, right? If Tuwani's getting killed, she's getting all that heal, and it's really hard to get killed unless it's like an insta kill. And then I do Spirit Call, which summons a pack of 5 level 96 wolves to attack the target for 60 seconds, which is just another, all around, lots of damage getting put out there, right? And then they have a chance to do something here to 2,100 or 22,010 damage is the proc that those wolves do. And then I also, on top of all that, I do Companion's Fortification to make my pet more tanky. And this is pretty useful, just in case, like, sometimes I've had things go bad where the bard dies and then Tuwani dies. The only one left is the shaman, and the shaman has to kind of clean house. And, it works sometimes. Sometimes the shaman's the first to die. It just depends. But that's my burn 2. And then burn 3, we got Languid Bite, which grants our slow spells a 75% chance to do Languid Bite, which does another 703 damage, or 730 damage every 6 seconds. So that just more damage stacks on there. I also pop Rabid Bear, so you can kind of see here, it just goes on and on. Rabid Bear increases my melee speed, my melee damage. It just makes me the shaman better at melee and all that kind of stuff, and just really brings it home how strong the shaman can be right there. And then I cast Mallow 952, which is the AoE Mallow, and then Dampen Resist. So there's just a lot building here, And while this is going on, I'm auto-attacking, I'm pets auto-attacking, I'm doing all the stuff with Tawani and all the other stuff. It just gets crazy. And usually by the time I get to the end of this like mob's already dead. Once we get into like the 120 content, this stuff will start making a lot more sense, because I'm kind of overkilling and overdoing it a lot. But yeah, so that kind of covers most of those. I have Call of the Wild here on my hotbar. I'm actually gonna move some of these around like that. There we go. This will make a little bit more sense. So I have Call of the Wild, which will bring back somebody from dead, but it will not resurrect them. So I can kind of, like, if Tawani dies, I can kind of instantly pull her back and get her fighting again. And then I also have Rejuvenation Spirit, which is our 96% res for after combat, because it cannot be used in combat. I need to get a Staff of Forbidden Rites to actually be able to res in combat with a clicky stick as a shaman. And then I kind of covered all these. We do have a Spiritual Rebuke. Yeah, Rebuke. This is a root that just knocks things back 3 minutes. So it's pretty nice. And then we have Virulent Paralysis. There we go, I said it. Which is another root rock back. I should use these more, but I don't, honestly. They would make for good CC when I'm fighting multiple mobs that cannot be mezzed, but I always forget to do it. And sometimes it's like I have like these massive buffs, right? And sometimes it's better to let the mob get hit by 10,000 points of damage shield every time it hits me than it is to root it, right? Rarely do I run into a situation where I can't tank multiple mobs with Tawani that are within range of the level we're fighting. So let's see here. Radiant Cure, that's just for curing diseases and slows and poisons and all that stuff. Impure Spirit, which is another cure, and it just cures everything. It's pretty fast cast, and it whoever your target is. I have a Curious Companion Compactor. I have no idea where I got this at all, but it showed up in my bag one day, and it's just like a little ammo item that can shrink my pet. So it's kind of nice. I gave it to Ketka. I was gonna send it to Nomagard, but Nomagard has Earring that does it. But it shrinks my pet, saves me from having to memorize a spell. I have Talisman of Serenity, which is a group haste. Don't really need it because Pack of the Wolf here. Let's see if I can find that one. Pack of the Wolf. Pack of the Wolf grants Ultra Vision, See Invis, increases your attack speed by 60%, maximum health, and mana and endurance by 3,800, and it triggers this and makes you look like a werewolf. I have that block because I don't like it. The animations look weird. But that is an aura that shamans get that just lasts for forever. It's so nice. I wish all the auras lasted forever like that. They would make them so much better. But I don't really need it. I do it on the, it's just, you know, just to click it sometimes. Cannibalize 5, which is our cannibalize spell. It takes, 40,000 hit points for 2,100 mana. I click that all the time. I used to have it in a macro, but I almost died, so I don't keep it in the macros anymore. And as long as I have Sagacity, where is it here? I don't see it. Can I see the icon? I don't see it at all. Maybe I don't have clarity right now. Yeah, maybe it doesn't look like I have clarity, but when I have Sagacity, I don't need to do it at all. I regenerate mana so fast. And then after that, I have a hotbar that is literally just dedicated to mage mod rods, because the longer I sit in guild lobby, the more mod rods I get. And this is, I think, all of them. There might be another one or two, but I haven't gotten any of them outside of this group here. And those just take health for mana, just like Cannibalize. See, Pack of the Wolf, that's just that aura. It's an AA. Visionary's Unity. This will cast pack of Karigas. So this is by calling a pack of Karigas, judgmental spills will have a chance to summon a pack of wolves. Oh, there we go. That's how I'm getting Visionary's Unity is how I'm getting all those pets to attack. That's where that comes from. And I cast that all the time. Now I have it on my my bar here. And then pre-incarnation casts our highest rank of pre-incarnation, which from what I remember, if I can find it, where is it? I believe it's like a, yeah, here it is right here. So it's a chance at a second life. So if I die, I get a chance to come back, and I don't die. So I've had that proc a few times, I think, in videos. So it's very beneficial. Then I have a Griddle of Living Thorns, which gives me Spike Coat, which is probably not even worth casting, honestly, at this level. But it is a buff that I don't have access to otherwise. And it lasts for 5 hours. It gives me some AC, and it gives me a minor damage shield. I think it's like 5-10 points, but it's still a buff, and every little bit helps, right? Group shrink everybody down. I kind of keep everybody shrunk, so if they're in different illusions, right, they kind of still line up with the same circle. You can kind of see the target circle here around here. This one's better. See the target circle that's around this target, right? And that's kind of where I want them to be when I'm auto following, so that they're right at that cusp. So I can have 20 right here, and then they're like right there, and they can still hit with melee. So it works out pretty well. All right, Gribbles is just a macro to kind of socially get the Gribbles done faster. So I can just target Gribble, hail him, and leave, or lead, which will join or quit the mission, depending on what state it's in. Food and drink, that just summons food and drink. It's just a simple macro. I think I bought it from the marketplace, and it just summons food and drink, auto inventories those, and I don't have to like manually do all that because I'm lazy, right? Okay, there's a trend here. And then see, I have my Amulet of Necropotence. I got one of these for everybody. This is just so I can get rid of shrink without having to deal with it, because sometimes, especially when I was in Kale, right, like the stairs when you're shrunk, like, let's see if we can do this right. Where is it? Group shrink. I think we can shrink as a skeleton, right? So when you're like a skeleton, right, or you're whatever the small gnome size is, you can't go up the stairs. You can go up these ones, but normally you can't go up the stairs like in Kale without being large. And I got everybody one of these so that they could easily change out of the shrink form if we need to in certain situations. Then I have Distilled Spiritualities. I haven't bought any in a long time because I didn't finish these ones. And Spirit of Clarity. So these just give me clarity and the Beast Lord mana regen. So there's more higher level ones. I just haven't done anything with those yet. And then some utility spells over here: Perfect Levitation, Suspend Companion, Silent Presence, Group Silent Presence, Suspend Companion ×2, no idea why. And then my Amulet of Necropotence again over there. See, let's check my bags here for anything else of importance. No, I got some tokens of Challenge Resurrection. Don't really need those anymore. I have a picnic basket for summoning food. I got that. I don't remember what event that one is, but definitely worth it. It's not like terrible food. Like it's got like a little bit of stats on it, so it's not terrible. It's better than vendor food for sure. You just have to summon it every time. But it lasts when you log out, so it's no rent, whereas the fresh cookies and stuff from the other one are temporary. They're slightly better, but it is what it is. And we just got level 100, so I'm gonna probably cook them up some food from whatever expansion they can use for on Gnome Regard. So they have the long-lasting food that gives massive stats. But other than that, I don't really see much else in my bags right now. This character is very bare. But that's how I do the Shaman. That's my setup. That's how I play. If you want to see like in action, Tuani's probably the best series to watch for that. Sons of Thule has a Shaman in there, but he's level 85, so it's a little bit more in the past. But for the most part, I assist Tuani, I attack the mob, I dot the mob while I melee, and then my pet will attack when he attacks. And that's what I pretty much do with the Shaman. Sometimes I'll slow, like I'll go like this, get him slowed. There we go. He got mellowed. I think it was instantly. There we go. So this guy is like fairly debuffed now. He's got 3 dots on him. And whatever that buff was, I don't even know what it was. And it just goes, and she's gonna proc. Oh, the stupid bard's casting Mez. There we go. She's gonna cast poison dots and all that stuff. You can kind of just see, like, let's see, where is my log parser? There we go. Ketka does 27,000 DPS, 25 DPS. As long as we keep the dots on, right? You know, she's doing more than the bard. Though she does have a lot of burn buffs that haven't expired since we're in here in the guild lobby, or the guild hall, right? So it is what it is there, but you can kind of see just how much potential damage she has to do. And that works out, right? It's less damage than Tuani by far, more damage than a bard. So it's kind of why I run 2 healers, because I'm only getting like 10 to 15k DPS out of the melee mercenary. It's almost worth it for me to focus on the Shaman and instead of having to heal with the Shaman. So there we go. But if there's any questions or comments, please let me know. That is how I play my Shaman at 100. I'll have an update video at 105 for all 3 classes again, and we'll kind of go from there, see how we end up at the end of the Darkened Sea, and where all that ends up. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.